Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Do please like and subscribe, it's down there. And there's a link to my book as well, of course. Part 3 of HMP Manchester Prison Officer by John G. Sutton. That's me, by the way. Yeah, I'm going to talk today about the Strangeways riot. And also a quick mention to somebody called Bill Kaz, who's been offering comments on my. I encourage comments. I mean, do criticise me if you feel that I'm saying something that's complete bollocks. I mean, I'm all right with that. But Bill's suggesting that it's improper for me to make money from discussing prisons, as I was a former prison officer. If anybody shares those thoughts, those feelings, please do let me know. I mean, I suppose it was all right for Frankie Fraser and the Cray twins to make an absolute fortune out of their books, but believe me, I don't make a fortune out of mine. Anyway, any comments on that would be greatly welcomed. Yeah, and Bill, do please keep commenting. I'm not criticising you for commenting. I'm glad that you brought up the subject. It should be open for discussion. I want to talk today about the Strangeways riot in April of 1990. So we're going back, 34 years now, aren't we? Yeah. I was, at the time that the riot took place, employed by Lancashire County Council teaching adults with learning difficulties, and I heard about the riot and contacted Radio 4 to discuss this with them because I knew exactly, in my opinion, why the riot had taken place. Because Strangeways at the time was what's known as a screw's neck. That is, the staff had the inmates doing exactly what the staff told them, as it should really be to a certain extent. But there was no effort to rehabilitate anybody. It was just a case of you get in your cell, you do that, this, that, and all that nonsense, and it was backed up by the block. Yeah, so it ran on that kind of intimidation, kind of. That's the way Strangeways was, and also at the time of the riot, the prison officers were going through a change in their system. It was called Fresh Start, and that was they were changing the work patterns and the way that overtime was paid. They were trying to eradicate overtime. Now, the Strangeways staff, in my personal experience, absolutely loved overtime. They didn't seem to care about having any personal family lives. No, they loved working 60 hours a week, and unfortunately, because that was the agreement between the Prison Officers Association and the Governor, they were working compulsory overtime. And the staff, believed this or not, they actually wanted compulsory overtime. They didn't want to have time off with their family and friends. No, they were quite happy going to work 60 hours a week, into the club at dinner times, necking the Boddingtons. It was a strange way of life, in strange ways, believe me. So when the riot came about, I believe that it was the staff's way of showing the government that if they were to reduce the manning levels, if they were to reduce the overtime, then this is what they could expect. Unfortunately, the Strangeways riot kind of got out of hand, and they tore the damn place to bits. Yeah, I shall be writing about this in my next book, Part 4. I'm going to do a continuation. Anybody who's read part 3, it ends up with me being medically retired from the prison service following a series of assaults. Not by inmates, no. The inmates didn't attack me. The inmates seemed to be alright. I wasn't corrupt in any way, I was just doing the job. But the staff didn't like it. They didn't. and the senior staff, I think they kind of decided that I gotta go. Anyway, I eventually went. You'll read about that, no doubt, in part 3 of my book. So, the Strangeways prison riot, they tore the place down. There were a number of inmates charged with prison mutiny, and they were put on trial at Manchester Crown Court. I was contacted by the defence team, and the barristers asked me if I would give evidence in support of the rioters, which I did. I went to Manchester Crown Court and spoke about the deplorable, disgraceful, intimidating conditions that pertained in Her Majesty's prison Strangeways. And I was cross-examined by a man called Brian Levison. Any of you familiar with current affairs will know that Brian Levison was the Queen's Counsel, because it was the Queen's Counsel at the time. Yeah, it was the Queen's Counsel that investigated the phone hacking. He produced what's known as the Levison Report, which effectively dealt with the issues of journalists tapping into celebrities' telephone calls and answer machine messages, etc. So they put their top man on the job. You'll read about what happened when Brian Levison got hold of me. But as you can see, I'm still in one piece. Well, bits of me are. Anyway, seriously, I hope you enjoyed that little talk about the riot. It did take place. It was an absolute devastating thing. It smashed the prison to bits. When they rebuilt it, they included toilet facilities, WCs in all the cells, so that it was no longer slop out and bang up. They were actually had facilities within the cells. The only problem is that's where they have their lunch as well, because they're locked in the cells 23 hours a day. Still to this very day, the inmates at Strangeways prison are being banged up 23 hours a day because they're short of staff. They've got the hostess system, of course, from the girl with the tray. Anyway, it's time for that special moment in time. For some, that is the alarm bell. For others, it's known as the song dinger. And sometimes I sing, yeah. I suppose, yeah. Larry wants me to sing. Well, I can't remember the words to Billy Goat Gruff, Larry the Goatherd from Rotherham. I've not heard from him for a bit. But there was a famous individual from Rochdale that I know a few of her songs. Gracie Fields. I took my harp to a party and nobody asked me to play. The others were jolly and hearty, but I wasn't feeling so gay, etc. Anyway, I'm going to read you one of my poems now. This is a little spoof on the Green Movement. It's called Rainbow Warrior. From another one of my books, folks. Flowers and Collected Poems by John G. Sutton. This is Rainbow Warrior. I'm a rainbow warrior, as green as they come. No chlorofluorocarbons perfume my bum. March to Aldermaston with CND. I support animal rights, just wanna be free. I'm pro-conservation, anti-acid rain, a left of centre trendy with an oversimple brain. I'm gonna save the planet, end nuclear fusion, throw the reds and the blues into utter confusion. When the proletariat all vote green and the rainbow warrior rules supreme. You'll be eating veg from an organic farm, saving the whales, wearing leaves to keep warm, making the world the place God planned when the We'll use no chemicals under the sun. In our homes, fit for heroes, the battle's all won. No greenhouse effect to blight our lives, but lots and lots and lots of flies. Rainbow Warrior by John G. Sutton. Thank you very much. Do please like and subscribe, and don't forget to read my books, folks.